Some news from the Padres, not on the Major League player acquisition side of things, but the minor league coaching staff, the 2024 player development staff. We know about the Major League staff. That was announced a couple weeks ago. For a refresher on that, Mike Schilt, obviously the manager, Victor Rodriguez, the hitting coach, Mike McCoy, Pat O'Sullivan are the assistant hitting coaches, Ruben Niebla, obviously the pitching coach God. David Macias, first base coach, outfield coach, base running instructor. Ben Fritz, bullpen coach. He remains there. Tim Leeper, third base coach, infield and base running instructor. Brian Esposito, catching coach and game strategy assistant. Kind of like a bench coach with Mike Schilt. Guys are going to be sharing duties. Peter Somerville, game planning and coaching assistant. Roberto Andrade will be bullpen catcher, coaching assistant. He returns. Morgan Burkhart returns, major league coaching assistant, although that is not spelled correctly on the Padres website, so they might want to go back and look at that. Ryan Barba, another guy that I think is going to be helping out kind of like a bench coach type role. Major league field coordinator is his title. Let's get to the player development staff for the Padres 2024. There's some former players. There's someone like Riley Westman, who like big minor league Padre fans that are, they're interested in all aspects of the organization, not just the major league side, but the minor league side as well. Development, you know who he is. You know who Mike Daly is, assistant director, player development. He is also going to be managing as well, not AAA, but he's going to be managing another level. We will get to that here in a little bit. And there's some names that you probably haven't heard of, and I'm not going to go deep into because I don't think the fan base cares too much about most of these names. You see on-field special assistants there. Moises Alou, Alan Craig, AJ Ellis, Glenn Hoffman, Trevor Hoffman, Mark Loretta, Hideo Nomo, excuse me. My bad on that. Chan-Ho Park and Craig Stammen. He is going to be on the staff. I forget if he was on the staff at all last year, but he is special assistant, major league staff, and baseball operations. Obviously, I think that's the no-brainer thing to have Craig, his mind in the organization, just his thoughts. Same thing with Loretta and Trevor and Glenn, all those guys. And then roving instructors, a couple of major league coaching staff guys from last year, they have been reassigned in the organization. Oscar Bernard, hitting coordinator. He was one of the hitting coaches for the Padres with Ryan Flaherty, with Scott Coolbaugh. Flaherty, obviously, with the Cubs now. Scott Coolbaugh, hitting advisor. So don't know really what those guys are going to be doing, roving. So I assume they're going to be going to different parts of the minor leagues, different like single A, high A, double A, triple A, checking in, reporting back probably to AJ, reporting back to some guys, whether that's Riley Westman, being in communication. Maybe those guys are going to be stationed for a couple weeks at a time at different spots. I don't know that. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe that's what is happening there. So that is kind of player development, front office, administration type stuff. And then on the coaching side of things, let's start with AAA, El Paso, Pete Zamora, who was the manager, I believe, with Lake Elsinore last year. At least if you go look up the 2023 minor league coaching staff announcement, he was with Lake Elsinore. 2024, he goes all the way up to AAA El Paso as the manager. So we might see this guy on a big league coaching staff one day. Obviously, the Padres are thinking highly of him to keep him continuing to go up here. I believe, don't quote me on this, but Raul Padron, he might have been elevated as well. He's going to be the hitting coach with AAA El Paso. Double A, Luke Montz, he is going to be the Double A manager in the Texas League for San Antonio. High A, Fort Wayne, Mike Daly. There were I think Dennis Lynn reported that Mike Daly was expected to be the AAA manager, so maybe some things changed there. Maybe they value Mike Daly more at the high A level because some of their top prospects are going to be there more, maybe, than AAA, let's say. Maybe Dylan Lesko is going to get time at more high A, and Mike Daly, they want Mike Daly there, or some certain guys, Homer Bush Jr., certain guys that they want Daly there because he's managing, but also, as I said, he's also assistant director of player development. So I assume it's strategic where they placed Mike Daly there. I would think that they'd place him at Double A and have him look at all like the top prospects, because that's where we think the top prospects are going to be. But that's what they do. Pitching coach Tom Eshelman, I believe he went to Cal State Fullerton, used to pitch in, I believe, the Padres minor league system. and now he's a coach. He is also rising because I don't believe he was at high A. I think he was lower than that. I think last year when he started being a coach in the minors for the Padres. Single A, Lake Elsinore, Lucas Ray, he will be the manager there. And then Arizona Complex League, Luis Mendez will be the manager. Dominican Summer League, there's a couple of managers there. And the pitching coach is not Nelson Cruz, the one we know, but I'm assuming it's another Nelson Cruz because the Nelson Cruz that we know, who played for the Padres last year, obviously a successful big league career, I would say. He is, I believe, with the Dodgers organization, which isn't super surprising, to be honest, if you've seen some stuff on social media, even leading up to then, like how he was helping out some Dodgers. So, you know, former Padre going helping the Dodgers now. Like they need more help. Okay, so those are the player development and minor league coaching staff assignments. Sorry, I probably should have switched the page there. I just wanted for you guys to see a visual of, okay, here's Oscar Bernard. There's Scott Coolbaugh talking with Manny Laster. They were on the major league staff. And then this was all the minor league coaches that you will see here. So I'll give you a few seconds here. Maybe you can pause it. You can look at these names, or you can go check it out. Padres, their social media page. Click a link there. I believe on X. Feels weird calling it X. I call it Twitter still. You know what it is. There's a link there with all the names, all the info there. But there were some interesting names that I did highlight there. Pete Zamora, Mike Daly, Coolbaugh, and Bernard being reassigned. And on the coaching staff, they were replaced by some guys that were in the minor leagues. So internal promotion in the Padres organization. And you think that that's strategic? Guys that know some of these top prospects that are probably going to get a shot at some point here over the next couple of years. I think that hints where the Padres are trying to go. Or maybe they value those guys more than Oscar Bernard and Scott Coolbaugh at the big league level. I don't know. Obviously, there's outside guys that have come in on Mike Schilt's staff. It's not like it's all internal promotions. You know, Victor Rodriguez is the main hitting coach. It's not like he was an internal promotion. But there's some other guys that were. So it's going to be interesting to see if we hear some of the players talk about these guys, the impact that they have on the roster. But yeah, that's the news that the Padres dropped this morning. If you have any thoughts, feel free to put them in the comments.